Hi, it's Barbara from Divine Creative Love. Today I want to show you how to use gelatos in your Bible journaling. So we're journaling on Isaiah 43:19 today, which says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." I think that's just awesome. And you can see I've already gessoed my page to prepare it for the gelatos, so that's why it's curling a little bit on the edge there. And I'm going to do a butterfly theme for this verse because I love how butterflies stand for transformation and kind of renewal of life. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm going to apply gelatos to a gel printing plate. So I'm taking the pink out of my iridescent gelatos set, and I'm just going to rub it onto the gel plate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz the gel plate with water. And then press it onto the page. And you can see there was not much color that got onto the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to apply some more color directly onto the page. But first I'm going to do the other side of the butterfly. So I just flipped the gel printing plate over on its other side, and I'm doing the same thing. Spritz it with water and then apply it so it comes out looking like just a butterfly outline on the page. You can apply the gelatos directly to the page if you want to, kind of like a pastel, but using them like a watercolor paint is my favorite way to apply it. So here I'm just rubbing the gelatos onto a paint palette, and then I'm just going to paint on with a brush. I'm just using the brush that comes with the gelatos kit. And I'm just painting in the outline where the butterfly is. So next thing I'm going to do here is I'm taking the green and the blue from my metallic gelatos set, and I'm going to do a green background. And I'm applying this little piece of paper that I cut out beforehand on top of the verse, because I'm going to do the verse in a different color. So I'm just using this removable scrapbooking tape to apply the cutout to the verse to block it out. And then I'm just going to paint on the green all around the background of the page, being careful to go around the butterfly shape. And gelatos is one of my favorite ways to do the background on my Bible pages, just because it's so transparent when you use it as a watercolor. So it makes a nice thin coating of paint, but it won't cover up the text at all. And I love the metallic gelatos and the iridescent gelatos. They're just so pretty and shimmery. So you can see there, it doesn't cover up the text at all. Text is still very visible. I'm just painting around the verse to make sure I don't get any green under the edges of that paper cutout. And then I'm just going to remove that cutout. So you can see there it left the verse unpainted. And sometimes the tape does stay behind, but it won't hurt the page at all. It's easily removable. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint blue over the verse. And the green and blue are both from the metallic Gelatos set. The pink was from the iridescent set. There was that one little spot that I had to go over a few more times to get the color in there. And then I'm just using my heat tool to dry it. And then I decided to add a few ribbons of color of the blue on either side of the butterfly. The next thing I'm going to do is add a stamp over the top of the butterfly. And you can use Gelatos on stamps. That's not what I'm going to do here, but if you want to use your Gelatos on the stamp, just rub it on like I did on the gel plate, and then spritz it with water and you can apply it on the stamp. But for this, I'm just going to use a regular pigment ink stamp pad to apply the stamp. And I always clean my stamps immediately after I use them to make sure that the ink won't dry on there. As long as you clean it right after you use it, even if it's a little bit stained, that won't matter, so the next time you use it, it'll be fine. So I'm going to take my gel pens and I'm going to outline the verse in one of the gel pens. So I'm just trying to decide what color. So I decided to outline the verse in blue. And what I did beforehand is I wrote down what I wanted to remember about this verse, which is to look for the new things God is doing. And I created that design, which I'm then going to trace onto the page. But since I can't see through the page, since I painted on it, I needed to use my light pad to trace it onto the page, which you can see the light pad makes a big difference. And I'm just tracing it on there in pencil for now. when I thought about what I wanted to remember about this verse, and I asked God, what did He want me to remember? And what I came up with was that look for the new things God is doing. Like keep my eyes open. I think it's so easy for us to be distracted, by our own lives and our own worries and what's going on in the world, and we forget to look for what God is doing. So that's what I wanted to remember. Now I'm just erasing the pencil marks so they're a little bit fainter. I don't want them to show up underneath the marker. And my original intent was to choose one of my Tombow twin tone markers to do the verse in. So I decided to try the pink one. You can't see it in the video, but the pencil mark actually still showed through, even with the coloring the pink over the top of it. So I thought, no, that's not going to work. So what I actually decided to do is use glitter gel pens. And the great thing about those glitter gel pens is that they're completely opaque, so you can color over the top of anything pretty much, and it'll cover it up. So none of the green and none of the pencil mark shows through when I colored with gel pens. And I'm just filling in the outline, but I'm also thickening the downstrokes on the letters. So I'm keeping the upstrokes thin and then thickening the downstrokes. And then with those letters, I drew them thicker with the pencil, so then I'm just filling in the outlines. And again, for the cursive letters here, I'm thickening the downstrokes and leaving the upstrokes thin. And then once I did that, I decided to take the same blue colored marker that I outlined the verse in and add the date. And at this point, I also thought, oh, that butterfly needs a little something more, doesn't it? Just needs a little something more, so I decided to make a glitter gel pen outline. So I'm just deciding which pink do I want, which pink goes best with the butterfly. Ideally, if I had planned this part ahead, I would have done that part first, because the way that the glitter gel pens do on the gessoed Bible paper, they sit on top of the paper, so they take such a long time to dry. It's really easy to smudge them. If you write with gel pens on regular paper, they kind of sink into the paper a little more, but on the gessoed page, they sit on top of it. So ideally, I would say work from top to bottom with the gel pens, but in this case, I just had to be extra careful not to drag my heel through that look for the new things God is doing that I had just written. As you can see at the outline of the verse, the bottom right corner, I actually did smudge that just a teeny little bit. So there you go. That's the finished page. That's my favorite way to use gelatos in Bible journaling. It's really hard to see the full picture of the shimmery aspect of it on the video, but I promise it's super sparkly and shimmery. And then I'm just going to remove the protective deli sheets and whatever removable tape is left behind. And there it is. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you'll get all my future Bible journaling videos. Bye!